My last colonoscopy was, you'll pardon the expression, a whopper. I've taken about 5 or 6 in the past, and some of them I failed. Some of them I couldn't complete the prep, and so I had to cancel. I didn't even show up. And the GI doctor was a little bit annoyed. So this last time, I considered taking a virtual colonoscopy, which means they use a CAT scan to look at your colon. But I decided against it because the prep for the virtual colonoscopy is the same as the real colonoscopy. So I told my GI doctor, the wonderful Dr. McKinley at Pro Health, that I wanted to go forward with the real colonoscopy, even though I failed the prep the last time. So I got to go lightly, and I started taking it the day before. I was scheduled for a 7 a.m. colonoscopy, so I started the prep the prior day on a Monday. And after about an hour or two, I got tremendously nauseous. And not only could I not drink the prep, I started puking like mad, and got really nauseous, and I couldn't even drink water. And I tried a couple of times. Every time I took it, I puked. And then I got into a state where I couldn't drink any water, and I realized I was getting dehydrated in the middle of the night. So my wife came in and said, why don't you cancel the colonoscopy? No, I got to go in because I didn't tell her how sick I felt, but I know I needed an IV. It was either going for the colonoscopy and getting the IV or going to the ER. So I took a photo of my stool sitting there in the toilet bowl. That's very important. Tip number 1, take pictures of your stool before going to the GI doctor, because you can show them how far you got. So my stool looked a little cloudy, to say the least. You saw it at the beginning of this clip. So off I went to see Dr. McKinley, and he saw me at the... Is this recording, by the way? So I saw McKinley, and he knew that I failed the prep on several occasions. I even canceled once or twice. So I showed him the photo. I wanted to show him the photo of the shit in the toilet bowl, but he didn't want to see it. He seemed really disappointed. So he gave me the internal exam. You know what that is. Up the ass. And he said, to quote Dr. McKinley, I see a lot of fecal material, and I'm not going to be able to do the colonoscopy, Mel. So he said, well, we'll do a stool sample, I'll do a sigmoidoscopy, and he was a little annoyed. I was apologetic. He said, why don't you take the virtual colonoscopy where... I said, Doc, they had the same prep. So anyway, he put me out, and then I woke up, and the nurse said, you did really well, and you won't have to have another colonoscopy in 4 years. I said, really? The doc told me he couldn't do it. Well, apparently he did. Well, sure enough, in a little while, Dr. McKinley came back, big smile on his face. Yes, Mel, I was able to complete the colonoscopy, even though there was a lot of material in your rectum. He said that the rest of your colon was pretty clear, and he did the whole test, and he found one polyp, and he took care of it, and you won't have to come back for 4 years. I said, wow, I hit the lottery. So the other lesson learned is that even though the stool in the toilet didn't look that clear, most of my colon was clear, and he was able to do the test. So that was a wonderful thing, to say the least. So I recovered very nicely, and I'm very, very grateful. I went home and had some tomato soup for lunch. And the day went by, and I was doing great. So I'm extremely grateful. I wrote Dr. McKinley a letter saying how pleased I was. So the tip here is look out for dehydration. And if you start puking and you can't keep it down, maybe you ought to stop doing it. I stopped doing it, but I still showed up. So it's important, as Woody Allen would say, to show up at all times in life. Well, that was my tip for today, and I hope you have a couple of lessons learned here. And Shabbat Shalom.